Hello and welcome to Commodity Champions. I'm Manisha Gupta, and the sales of lab-grown diamonds have risen more than $12 billion in 2022 from almost just about $1 million 7 years ago. To meet the growing demand for these synthetic diamonds, the market volume is expected to double from 9 million carats in 2022 to over 19 million carats in 2030. With a 26% market share in production, India is the biggest contributor in this industry. In fact, the volumes in India grew by a 5% on an year-on-year basis in April to July 2023. To talk further about the future of lab-grown diamonds, we are now joined by Pooja Sheth Madhavan, who's founder and managing director at Limelight Diamonds. Sanket Patel is director at Green Lab Diamonds, and joining us also is Parag Agarwal. He's chief executive officer at Fiona Diamonds. Thank you so much for joining us. And lab-grown diamonds clearly is an exciting space to be. In the last couple of years, we've seen the buzz continue on the higher side. The numbers gradually, though, have continued to increase as well. Sanket, I'll start with you first. And the industry is growing, the manufacturing is growing. We also have seen the cost of production of lab-grown diamonds also continue to decline. If, in summary, how would you describe the industry as it stands now?
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you for having us here today. You have a good question with the pricing on how the pricing have declined and now it's stabilizing. As we all know, when there is a niche demand of a particular product in the earlier stages, the prices were really high. But now looking at how the prices or how the demand has increased, and obviously there are other growers and other retailers who have entered this trade to get the prices at the base. So right now, what we are thinking and what we see is the prices have hit a very stable price point, where we don't see that there is a lot that can there's not a lot that can decline on it. Looking at the market, we see a very positive sign towards the lab-grown diamond industry as the demand, as you've also said, the increase in the carats, year on year, and the acceptance of this product in India as well right now as a really high hope for the entire industry. And obviously, when we're talking about lab-grown diamonds, we're talking about there are the CVD, which we are doing in India with this carbon vapor deposition, which has given a really good strength to the entire industry, and also it's a comfort on the price point with the consumers.
Sanket, how would you look at the competition? Because we do know that a lot of more and many players are getting into this space now. One, how do you look at the competition? And two, the cost of producing lab-grown diamonds, how is that moving?
So the cost of producing lab-grown diamond, it was same right now, and it was the same earlier as well. So the cost has stabilized. So there is no, it's not getting any cheaper. It's only going to get expensive, because when you see the labor which is used in cutting and polishing these diamonds is the same as what they use in mined diamonds. So obviously, with the increasing number of carats in the market, what we see is in the coming days, there will be a shortage of labor because there are not too many artisans available in this industry. So obviously, it's not declining, it's only increasing. So what we can see is the prices have stabilized. We don't see more scope of it to decrease, but obviously to increase, because it's all in the end manpower. And when we're using manpower, obviously the rates are going to get higher in the coming days.
And what about the competition, Sanket? Because there are more and more players now getting into the market. The smaller entrepreneurs to even big name companies are also opening a department which is now going to be producing synthetic diamonds.
So lab-grown diamonds. What we're looking at is obviously there is a lot of competition, but there is a lot of consumption as well. What we're seeing in the coming days. So it's not. I would not say competition, but I would say it is. The industry is growing. As I've also thought of this before, because the more the stores that will open, the more awareness of the product will be, and obviously people will start diverting towards this product because the availability will increase. It's not going to be controlled by any one person, obviously, because this is an industry not controlled by anybody. So, and it was never, like, even the mine diamond industry wasn't controlled by any one player. Likewise, the lab-grown diamond industry also won't be controlled by any one player. So everyone will have their own bit in the market to share, and obviously it will be a healthy business. Like, to grow together is the best way to move ahead.
But getting you in the conversation as well, what would you say is how much worth is this industry right now, and with what pace is it growing?
Well, it is what we are experiencing is nearly doubling every year. because as the awareness is increasing, like Sanket said, and more is the acceptance, because especially after Modi ji gifting it to Joe Biden's wife, the winds have changed, and all of them would agree with this. With more and more player, it's like more of validation which is coming in. So market, I feel like in the US, it was 1 out of 2 engagement rings being sold were lab diamonds, which was much. It got there much faster than expected. So the Indian market also is about 265 million right now, and it would be crossing 1 billion in the next 2 years. Just the local retail market.
Pooja, as Parag says, that it's a 265 million market in the Indian space right now, which is just about retail. What is your sense? What kind of growth, what kind of work, what kind of marketing needs to be put in to create more awareness?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with what Parag and Sanket have said. Consumers are getting more and more aware. I think lab-grown diamond is turning out to be an upgrade for every type of consumer. So, consumer who never purchased a diamond or always aspired a diamond is now being able to afford a diamond. But a consumer who is purchasing a 1 carat is now upgrading to a 2 carat. Consumer who is purchasing a 2 carat is now upgrading to a 5 carat. Because the savings that one can do with lab grown diamonds, and the fact that these are exactly the same, they're identical, they're the test tube baby version of diamonds. I think consumers are understanding that, and therefore making sense of upgrading and only enriching their experience through lab grown diamonds. And yes, with the government and the kind of support that the government is giving in the country, I think consumers are more and more being made aware that these are homegrown diamonds. These are Deshka diamond, as we call it. And I think that's the kind of marketing or positioning that is perhaps sticking in the audiences of the Indian continent. And day by day, the lab-grown diamond sales, I mean, even in our retail front, we have only seen 2x and 3 times, sales growth year on year in terms of our sales. And we're only seeing more and more millennials of this country lap up bigger and brighter diamonds of our own country. I also want to, perhaps touch upon, what we just spoke about in terms of competition. Yes, I think at the retail front, on the retail front, competition is great. And having more and more players is only sort of increasing validation of the product. But it's also important to understand that at the growing level, or where the labs are, there's not enough competition, and only because the kind of price points that we are at today in the lab-grown diamonds, it has created a huge entry barrier for new entrants to come in. The break-even capex on the machinery has gone up to 7 years. So it's not so easy for new entrants to come in, which is a good deal, which means that the growers have now stabilized in the country. And we'll see a lot more expansion from there, and therefore there'll be a lot more price stability in the market also.
Parag, the one concern that lab-growns have faced, of course, apart from the pricing part of it, has been on whether these can be assayed and certified. And would you say that that issue, problem, or lack of awareness also seems to be getting sorted now?
Yes, lack of awareness is definitely getting sorted. Earlier, the issue was people were not giving references, but now I think they're proud and they are sharing with their family members and friends that, okay, I'm going behind an eco-friendly and sustainable option. And more to that, people are not coming to us to save money. They're coming to have more value purchase. So no one in the HNI world would want to save their money on diamonds. They would end up spending same amount, but getting bigger diamonds and more jewelry. So the value purchase is the game. Sustainability and eco-friendliness is the thing which everyone is promoting, and they feel good about it, that you can shine responsibly with these diamonds.
All right. Let me come to all of you with one question on what do you think is still a big challenge that is faced by lab-grown as an industry? Sanket, what would you say that needs to be worked on a priority basis when it comes to this industry?
Right. So if you see from the sales point of view, what we feel is a little difficulty, or in for the audience to understand or speak about this product is still yet to come, because not everybody is willing to push this by saying, oh, because some people just don't want to say that it's a lab grown diamond and they want to flaunt it as a mine diamond. That's fair. I mean, because it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a lab diamond or a mine diamond, but in the coming days, obviously, what we will see is people will speak about this more, which we want them to do. And in the end, see, I would just want to make one point when I would like to say is this is not a cheaper product. This is a product with the same price with a better product. So it's not cheaper, but it's a better product with the cheaper price. So there is no bad or good in wearing a lab diamond or a mine diamond. So it's just a diamond in the end, and it's on how a consumer is looking at it, whether they're looking at the price point, they're looking at the sustainability point. There are a few factors that we'll keep in mind, and coming forward, we will move ahead with that.
Oh, absolutely. Parag, what do you think is a concern here? I mean, as Sanket says, people are buying lab-grown, flaunting it as mine. So there is some status concerns coming in. But according to you, what's the challenge?
So what I see is with our brand, there are two segments of the society. One is the ultra HNI, and like Sanket mentioned, they do not want to share with people that what they're wearing, because what they fear is that their existing diamonds would turn into a lab diamond and their value would go down.
Okay.
So of course that is happening, but there is a bigger segment of people, which are the millennials and people who choose these diamonds for their engagement rings. Like people who come to us and tell us that I do not want blood on my fingers. I want a clean conscience, and I'd rather go for my Birkins or other bag shopping or shoe shopping and spend on experiences and get a better value purchase. So these are the people who do not mind sharing it with their friends and family, and they're promoting it. So as you say, the best marketing is your customer yourself.
Right.
And the mouth-to-mouth publicity is the best. So this segment of the consumer is the one who promotes it and do not shy away from sharing it with others. And it's the only ultra HNIs who do not share it. And all of us really know as sellers that who all in India are buying from us.
All right. Pooja, when it comes to collaborations, would you say that the industry is working together on whether it's about increasing the consumer base, increasing more awareness, ensuring that this is a product which stabilizes and grows?
Yes, absolutely. I think the industry is moving towards that. I may not say, I may say it's at the nascent stages still. I think there's a lot more collaboration that perhaps is needed because, like what, we have been mentioning that, see, what is important from an Indian standpoint is to understand that we have so far always been, importing mined rocks, and पत्थर से हीरा बनाने का काम हमेशा इंडिया ने ही किया है. And, after the polished product is out, making the jewelry and exporting is what India has always mastered it. Now is the opportunity for India to also grow its own rocks, So I think bringing that story to the consumers who at their own, in their own hearts want to support a Make in India product is important. And I believe that, the industry is going to work hard towards, bringing this proposition out, to the audiences. Also, the mindset of, smaller things like, how the brands consistently are making sure that, the pricing is competitive. Yet at the same time, it is, nobody is trying to break the market, where all the competitors are working in tandem to make sure that there's a sustenance in the market in terms of pricing the product. In terms of also buyback and resale opportunities, which to an Indian consumer is very, very important. It's great to know that, most of the brands on the street offer, the same buyback and resale opportunities that exist in, any sort of fine diamond jewelry. The same exists in lab-grown diamond space also. We at our brand also offer the same kind of offering. So I think that holds immense trust and confidence in the mindset of the consumers.
Oh, very well said. Yes, it's a competitive market, and it would be nice if people don't break the prices on the lower side. And as Indians, we do want to upgrade, buy back, resell. So if lab-growns can offer that as well, I think it's a market that is here to stay. But on that note, it's time for a short break. Don't go anywhere, because we will have this discussion going forward after this break.